In math, we're learning about fractions, and today we're going to do more comparing of fractions. One of the cool things about fractions is that they can be named differently but be the same size. This is something that will come up a lot when you use fractions, where you'll find out what they're named, okay? So let's take out our worksheet. It's 255 and 256. It says at the top, more comparing fractions, okay? And let's look at these first two together to see. I want to give you an example of what I'm talking about. You know, we've talked about a fraction is when a shape is partitioned into equal parts, okay? So this is two rectangles. They're the same size rectangle. They're partitioned differently, okay? This one is partitioned into two equal parts, so it's in halves, 1/2, 1/2. This one is partitioned into four equal parts, so it's 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Now, this part is shaded. 1/2 is shaded, and 2/4 is shaded. 2/4, 1/2. So you see they have a different name, but they actually represent the same amount. 1/2 is equal to 2/4. Right? So where it gives you the option of where to color in, you'll color in the dot that says 1/2 is equal to 2/4. You can see it when you look at it, can't you, that it makes sense? 2/4 is the same as 1/2. All right, let's look at the second one. This is a circle shape, and you see the circle, same size circle. And this isn't perfect because I drew it with marker on my board, but same size circle, partitioned differently. This circle is partitioned into thirds, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, okay? And the second circle is partitioned into sixths, okay? 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. But the shaded part, 1/3 is shaded, 2/6 are shaded. And can you see? That is the same. 1/3 is equal to 2/6. Isn't that interesting? So when we compare fractions, sometimes they can have a different name but be equal to each other, right? So there's more chances for you to do that, to compare, to color in. The next time you get to actually, you get to write down what the fraction is and then compare it again. So kind of similar to what we did. Here's a good one, number 6. Let's look at this one together. Number 6 says, Mom made 3 sandwiches the same size and gave Ava 1 part of each. Did Ava get exactly the same amount of each sandwich? All right, well, let's look at the sandwiches. One sandwich is partitioned into fourths like this. One is partitioned into fourths like this. And one is partitioned into fourths like this. And Ava's mom gave her 1 part of each. Does she get exactly the same amount of each sandwich? Yes or no? What do you think? Well, the answer is actually yes. Now, are they the same shape? No, but they are each exactly 1/4 of a square, okay? So the sandwiches are the same size and they're each exactly 1/4. It's what her mom gives her, 1/4. So they're partitioned in different ways, but each partition is 1/4 of a sandwich. Ava's mom is very creative in how she cuts up her sandwiches, right? Okay, so you get to do more occasions of looking at fractions, comparing fractions, partitioning them yourselves. And I hope you're having fun with this, learning this. We have a few more days still to learn about fractions. You're doing well so far. As always, if you have a question, please circle the problem and send it to me so that I can give you some extra help. Spelling this week, we've been working on list 28. We've copied down the words, we've done a worksheet, and I hope you're working on those words on your own and trying to memorize them. Today we have a worksheet 111 and 112. So this gives you an opportunity to fill in the blank with a spelling word. And what they give you is the base word of a spelling word, and then they ask you to add an ER or an EST to make it the best word to fill in this blank. The first one says, Jason runs blank than Luke. And right here it says fast. So we're either going to add an ER or an EST to make this the best word to finish this sentence, the best spelling word. All right, and we remember that when we put ER, it's comparing two things. And when we put EST, it's comparing more than two. So I think because these are just two people, it should be faster. Jason runs faster than Luke. All right? And then I will use the clean glass. It sounds like you could just put clean, but they want you to either add ER or EST to best complete the sentence. And I think I will use the cleanest glass. Best completes the sentence. So if you need to look over here, that can help guide you as well, because you want to make sure you're choosing a spelling word to complete the sentence. Now the back on page 112 has opportunities for you to do proofreading and fix what's wrong, fix what is spelled incorrectly or done incorrectly. All right, and then you'll also more spelling down here where you're matching to the picture. Right? So I want you to work hard on that. It's one of the ways you can really get those spelling words in your mind, because Friday we'll take our spelling test. Also, we're going to do reading again. The reading this week, we're working on our sustained silent reading, and we're keeping a reading journal. We've talked about in our live class that you can, after you have done your reading, written down your minutes, and done a journal entry with sentences, you are also welcome to draw a picture. Okay, come Friday, you'll be wanting to be ready to do a big book review. So maybe you're reading a different book every day. Maybe you're reading chapters going on in the same book. Either way is fine. I look forward to seeing what your sustained silent reading journal, how that's going. I think this is a really good skill. It's also a good habit to be into, to read every day. For English, we've been learning about sentences and their parts. A sentence is a group of words that makes a complete thought. A sentence has a capital letter, it has an end mark, has a subject and a predicate, all right? The predicate often has either an action verb or a linking verb as its main part. So yesterday we worked on sentences with action verbs in them, and today we're going to look at sentences with linking verbs. Your linking verbs that they put on your worksheet are is, are, was, were. They show up all the time, all right? Let's look at this sentence together. The big red lollipop was delicious. Now, when you look at that sentence, I wonder if you notice, like I did, there's some adjectives in there. Big and red, they tell us what kind about this noun. Adjectives tell us about a noun. Big red lollipop. Adjectives they're amazing because they can show up anywhere in a sentence. They can be in the subject or the predicate. Okay, so the subject of this sentence, who or what is this sentence about, is lollipop, right? And the linking verb is was. So we can draw a line right here, and we've separated the subject from the predicate. Was is our linking verb. It links lollipop to delicious. Tells us about the big red lollipop was delicious. Right? So on your worksheet, you're going to be doing things like that. You're going to look at a sentence. You're going to notice which subject part goes to which predicate part. So you'll get to do some where you're just drawing lines to make them connect. Be sure you're really reading it carefully to see, does this make sense? Then you connect them, subject part to predicate part. Then you'll have places on your worksheet where you're just supposed to do this, where you look at a sentence, where you find the linking verb, and where you separate the subject from the predicate. The grasshopper is green, right? Who or what is that sentence about? Grasshopper, right? And we know is one of the linking verbs. We can circle it. Whenever you find your verb, whether it's an action verb or a linking verb, that gives you a clue that this is where the predicate begins, okay? Now, on number 9 on your worksheet, they give you the option of the assignment of writing your own sentence. And they say you get to choose your subject. You get to choose your linking verb, is, are, was, were. They have them listed on your worksheet. And an adjective and predicate, and you make up your own sentence, okay? So, but you make sure it includes an adjective. All right, so you're putting together several things we've been working on. Here's my sentence that I came up with. The second grade is the cleverest class. Okay, so who or what is this sentence about? Second grade. Okay, that is the subject. And here is our linking verb. So we can put a line right between the subject and the predicate. Where's the adjective? It's here. Cleverest. I chose an adjective with an EST, an adjective that makes a comparison, right? So you see in my sentence, the adjective showed up in the predicate part. In this sentence right here, the adjectives are in the subject. Adjectives can be in either place. So I look forward to seeing what sentences you come up with when you choose your subject, your predicate, your linking verb, and an adjective. And remember, your sentence will have a capital letter and an end mark. Okay, your worksheet also includes a little bit of review about when we abbreviate and how to abbreviate and putting the dot when you make the abbreviation. Okay, you're going to do a great job. For science, we're learning about how the body works, right? We're learning about the different systems. God designed our bodies, and they're amazing. The parts of our body, each one has a special job to do. A system is a group of parts that work together to do a job, right? Yesterday, we read about the skeletal system, remember? About the bones and all the interesting things that we had to learn about that. And today we're going to read about the muscular system. We'll be reading in your textbook together, page 180 and 181. Page 181 has a cool picture of, like, if you could imagine what's all the muscles inside that are being used and at work when someone is doing something like kicking a soccer ball, right? Now, let's read this together. I want you to have your book open and with you while I read. Let's look at it together. The muscular system. Your skeleton supports and protects your body. It allows your body to move, but it cannot move on its own. All the muscles in your body work together in the muscular system, right? Get your pencil and underline. All the muscles in your body work together in the muscular system. God designed the muscular system to work with the skeletal system. It's a team, right? Your muscles make the bones and other body parts move. Muscles, that's an important part of this section of our book. Some muscles are small. The muscles that move your eyes are very small. Have you ever thought about the muscles involved in moving your eyes, in blinking your eyes? Other muscles are very large. The muscles in the top of your legs are large. They move the large bones so you can walk, run, and stand. I bet if you put your hand on the top of your leg and make your muscle tight, you can feel, oh, that's a big muscle, isn't it? Many of your muscles connect to bones. When the muscles move, they move your bones. Remember, we talked yesterday about how some bones are linked together with joints so they can move, and it's also connected to muscle, which is actually what makes the bones move. You control these muscles by thinking about them. They move when and how you choose, right? I am thinking, stretch my arm out, bring my arm in. I'm thinking about it and I'm controlling it. But some muscles move without your thinking about them. God made muscles that work even while you sleep. All right? Get your pencil again and underline this sentence. Your heart is this kind of muscle. It works all the time whether you think about it or not. Your heart is a muscle. It works all the time whether you're thinking about it or not. That works all the time. Okay? So you don't have to think beat, beat, beat. Your muscle just does it. Okay? Your bones and muscles are tough. God made them that way so that you can use them for work and play. You can keep them strong by eating healthy food and exercising. That's another one I want you to underline. How can you keep your muscles and your bones strong? Well, by eating healthy food and by exercising. Those are two things you can do to help your body be strong. When you play sports, you should wear protective gear. We'll write that because that's another. Some protective gear you might think of is a helmet when you're riding your bike or skateboarding or roller skating. That's really important. What are you protecting? Your skull, which is protecting your brain, right? Protective gear in sports can also include like shin guards if you're doing soccer, or knee pads if you're doing volleyball. So there's all sorts of protective gear you can think about that can help keep your body safe while you're doing things like exercising. And so I want you to think about when you do this worksheet, page 157, it's going to ask you things that are both about the skeletal system and the muscular system. And I like that it asks about them together because we've just learned that these two systems work together like a team, the skeletal system and the muscular system. So you're going to need to remember, these are all things that will come up on your worksheet, but you're also going to need to remember what are 3 jobs that bones do. Can you remember from yesterday? Bones, they give your body shape. They protect some of the soft muscles, soft organs inside, right? And they can help us to move. Specifically, the bones, the ribs, your rib cage, it protects the muscle of your heart, right? So if while you're doing page 157, if there's ones you're not sure about, you might have to turn the page backwards and look at the skeletal system because this worksheet will ask you things about both systems. All right?